Hey everyone, it's Jack from Cultaholic.com, back again with another news update. First of all, we have some news on a list of banned moves by the Louisiana Boxing and Wrestling Commission for obviously shows running over WrestleMania weekend. Could be quite controversial, could lead to some limitations in some shows. We'll have a look at that. We've also got news of a big new match announced for NXT TakeOver New Orleans, and finally some good news as well for a certain WWE superstar. So let's get right into it and take a look at all of the news. So let's talk about these banned moves over WrestleMania weekend. Deadspin ran an editorial last night, about the various different banned moves that apparently have been listed by the Louisiana Boxing and Wrestling Commission in the run-up to WrestleMania weekend. There was an interview by Post Wrestling with a member of the commission, which brought all this to light, but they were just discussing the banned pile driver, which not many people were too surprised about. Pile drivers have been sort of a controversial subject for many years now, but it was then dug up by Deadspin that a lot of moves are still registered as banned by the commission, and it could have a big impact on a lot of shows running over WrestleMania weekend, not including WWE. They are exempt apparently, and also interestingly, Ring of Honor are exempt. They are also seen by the commission as major league, so it's only shows like Joey Janela's Spring Break, which is going to be a laugh, and all the various, like the Evolve shows, all the various shows that have the potential to be really good over WrestleMania weekend. I think there's the big Lucha Underground versus Impact Wrestling thing at WrestleCon as well. So this isn't just something that will affect one or two shows, it'll affect every show at WrestleMania weekend, apart from, of course, WWE and Ring of Honor. And I have a list of the banned moves with me now. So all variations of the pile driver, I think that's pretty much expected. All variations of the power bomb, that's very strange indeed. All variations of like the moonsault, the shooting star press, or the 450 splash where an opponent lands on the other guy's head. This one's the most confusing one because Ospreay took to Twitter and said, am I not allowed to do all these moves? Which obviously a big part of his offense revolves around high flying action. The wording of it doesn't make clear whether those moves are allowed as long as you land on the torso, or whether they're banned because of the risk of landing on someone's head, so that's a bit of an unclear one. All variations of the stun gun or any move when an opponent is dropped headfirst onto the ropes. Weapon shots to the head, another one like the pile driver, which I think we can all see the reason behind. And finally, the most baffling one of all, and I've got the exact wording here: no wrestler shall push, shove, or force another out of the ring or over the top rope. What? I bet WWE are relieved that it's not Royal Rumble weekend. In fairness, no, WWE are exempt from this, but I bet a lot of other promotions, if they were planning a Rumble or a Battle Royal, are very, very annoyed right now. I don't know how likely it is that promotions will adhere to this. I don't know how strict the ramifications are if you breach it, but it's going to cause a lot of a stir, I think, especially in the run-up to WrestleMania, with so many promotions built around exciting, hard-hitting, fast-paced action. This really limits a lot of what a lot of wrestlers can do. Now, if you look on Twitter, you'll see one or two indie wrestlers have popped up criticizing this. My favorite response was from Jimmy Havoc, who said it's still real to them, damn it, because it's strange that there's a commission in Louisiana for boxing, which is obviously real, and wrestling, which is obviously scripted. I don't get it. I really don't get it at all. And they misspelled clothesline, so they're idiots, aren't they? They don't know about wrestling. No, let's not have a go at the Louisiana Boxing and Wrestling Commission. They could have a go. What if I need to go over there and try and win back the DDT Iron Man Heavy Metal Weight Championship? Because my finisher is, of course, as we all know, a big old 450 splash. On to NXT news now. If you've been following NXT spoilers from their recent set of tapings, you'll know this in advance probably, but if you haven't, then good news, because it's been broadcast now and we can tell you what it is. Last night on NXT, William Regal booked a match for NXT TakeOver New Orleans between Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, and it's going to be an unsanctioned match. Very exciting. Now, there is also a stipulation involved in this match. Regal told Ciampa, look, if Gargano beats you, he is reinstated as a member of the NXT roster, and if he loses, then he's never welcome back in NXT again. Regal also set up another match last night for the newly created NXT North American Championship. EC3 cut him off in a rather heelish fashion and said, it's great that you've invented this new title for me to hold as a welcome into the company. And Regal went, no, you've got to have to go through 5 other men at NXT TakeOver New Orleans to get your hands on that belt in a ladder match. And those other competitors are, well, there's obviously EC3, but the other 5 guys are Killian Dane, Lars Sullivan, Adam Cole, Velveteen Dream, and Ricochet. That match looks like it could be very exciting indeed. Actually, both matches look like they could be very exciting. I think either one of those could steal not just the show, but the entire WrestleMania weekend. That's, once again, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa in an unsanctioned match, and those 6 wrestlers in a ladder match for the NXT North American Championship. And finally, congratulations to the Miz and Maryse for welcoming their new baby daughter into the world. She's named Monroe, and she arrived early, which I think has rested a lot of fears, because people thought, you know, the due date was really close to WrestleMania Sunday. If she was born, you couldn't really blame the Miz for having to miss. I mean, I personally wouldn't blame him for missing WrestleMania for the birth of his daughter. But now she's been born and everything's going fine apparently. So it looks like Miz is going to defend his Intercontinental Championship against Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. Congratulations to the Miz and Maryse. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Jack from Cultaholic.com. You can follow me on Twitter at JackTheJobber. You can follow all of us at Cultaholic, and you can catch our Patreon as well. Patreon.com/Cultaholic. And one more thing, never ever forget, of course, to join us.